We're on the record in docket 22-01367 and 22-01369. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Margaret Schultz. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
And please the court, David B. Carter Jr. on behalf of Ms. Schultz, who is present standing at council table.
Ma'am, you are Margaret Schultz?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a final pretrial on the matter. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, an offer has been made for file number 22-01369 would be dismissed in exchange for a guilty plea to file number 22-01367. There's a killer brew for a delay of sentence pursuant to MCL 771.1. The victim, I would request the victim be led into the Zoom for the proceeding.
Is the victim here?
Yeah.
All right. Ms. Hayes? All right. Ms. Hayes, you're here on the Schultz matter?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Is that your understanding, Mr. Carter? And I can repeat that.
It is, Your
All
Honor.
right. So it's going to be a guilty plea to file 22-01367 with a killabrew of delayed sentence. With a plea to that file 22-01369 is to be dismissed. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And then, Your Honor, I would inquire of the court, we'd like this set for a review hearing. The victim would prefer the full 12 months. I would just inquire how the court usually handles that. The people would be accepted for the review for 6 months.
So I think it's going to have to be less than a year.
It does, because the court loses jurisdiction
Right.
right at 1 year.
Right at 1 year. So I think 6 to 8 months, and then we're just gonna have to guess where to put it. Because we're trying to figure out where on the docket it'll fit.
Understand.
And it's just, that's kind of a guessing game, you know? All right. Mr. Carter, may I inquire of your clients of their rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, just so it's clear
Sure.
for the record, the agreement will be dismissed, assuming there's no more incidents involving the animal before the meeting.
All right. Is that your understanding, Mr.
That
Carter?
is my understanding. It's also just to let the court know, my client already produced an apology letter and forwarded that to the prosecutor, whom I believe forwarded it to the.
Okay. All right. And that's your understanding, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor, and then
And the victim has that letter?
I'm not sure. It was placed in the mail on Friday. Ms. Hayes, did you get the letter yet?
Ms. Hayes, have you gotten the
No,
letter?
no, I did not get it yet. Okay. I'm sorry.
right.
Can you guys repeat what's getting dismissed? I heard something say about getting dismissed.
It's essentially a 1-for-1. There's two misdemeanor counts. The defendant will be pleading to one misdemeanor count and there'll be a dismissal of another. So the dog bite is actually going to be the plea and the dog at large is going to be dismissed.
I hear you.
Okay. So so the maximum penalty in the file 2201-367, my understanding that's a 90-day under $100. Is that
Yes,
right?
Your Honor.
All right, so it's a 2-count ticket and it's actually the first one on this ticket. Do you know what that code is? It's here written on Article 9, Section 2. Does that sound right?
I believe that's correct.
It is Article 9, Section 2D.
Section 2D. All right, so ma'am, you understand the maximum penalty the court could sentence you to is 90 days and or $100. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, we have a plea agreement here that a Killebrew to delayed sentence. And the court doesn't see any reason not to follow that, okay? But this is the potential for your exposure. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Right. If a plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind. So you'll be giving up the following rights. I'm going to address those for you, okay?
Okay.
You'd have the right to have witnesses called in your defense. You have the right to cross-examine all witnesses. You have the right to testify to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right that the city or the state prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt in regards to each element. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, I do.
And you're represented by Mr. Carter today. Mr. Carter would of course cross-examine all witnesses and contest these charges against you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. I've indicated the plea agreement for the record. Ma'am, it's my understanding you're waiving those rights today,
Yes.
okay, to plead guilty to this file.
Yes.
Okay. And you're pleading guilty because you are guilty.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention back. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to bring your attention back to May 15th of 2022, approximately 6:30 at night, were you in the vicinity and owner of,
It was an Australian ship.
is it Bailey?
Yes.
Okay, Bailey, all right. And at 1929 Moffett Street in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan.
Yes.
All right. And you were the owner and guardian of Bailey, and did Bailey get out and or bite someone?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you know who Bailey bit?
A little boy.
Okay, that's your understanding?
Yes.
Okay.
I have trouble with that.
All right. And therefore you're in violation of Article 9, Section 2, Parents D in this case.
Yes.
All right. Any questions about the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Carter?
No, Your Honor.
I find that the factual basis to be knowing, voluntarily, and understandingly made. We will set a Killebrew agreement sentencing date for a delayed sentence. Indeed.
July 11th, 2023.
Okay, let's try July 11th, 2023 at 8:30. And then if we have to move that, you'll get notice from us, but that's the date we're going with right now. All right. Any questions, Mr. Carter?
No, Your Honor.
Pretty far out there, I know.
Yeah, I do a lot of criminal law, and if I get a trial called in, I'll contact you.
Let us know. All right. Ms. Schultz, so we'll see you pursuant to the Killebrew agreement on July 11th, but keep in contact with Mr. Carter just in case, okay?
Okay.
All right. Ms. Hayes, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions at the
All right.
moment. Wait, what's going on July 11th in 2023?
That's the delayed sentencing date. That's as far as we can put it without losing track of the case. In order to see what's happening at that time as a control date. So you don't have to be here for that, but if you have any questions, you can contact the assistant prosecutor, Mr. Wisty.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. It was
All
just
right.
kind of confusing. She said never mind. All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hayes. So that's all in the file of 22-01367. I've also indicated that the companion file on the ticket 22-01369 is dismissed pursuant to the plea agreement.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. See you, Mr. Carter.
Yep, just an hour.
On the record in docket 22-01454, 55, 56, and 57. We'll start with 54, just as the control file. Let's see, 56, 57. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Christie, on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Chester, who is seated to my right.
And ma'am, you are Evelyn S. Chester?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a final pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I believe we reached an agreement. All files will be dismissed with the exception of 22-01455. There will be a guilty plea with a delay of sentence on that. We would request a restitution hearing. The delay will be contingent on being able to pay restitution.
All right, so. I think we're just gonna, we'll just do restitution first.
I just have one quick correction. Your
All
Honor.
right.
I believe all of that is correct with the exception that Ms. Chester will be making a no contest plea as opposed to a guilty plea.
All right, and what'll be the factual basis for the no contest plea? You
I
have
can
a-
make an offer. Your Honor.
All right. Or a document or something that the court
I
can
could
review.
provide a police report.
That'll work, yeah.
Maybe I can email that to you, Wendy. Is that how that's?
How much time do you want for the restitution hearing, Mr. Wisty?
That could be in 2 weeks. The sentencing would be basically how long the sentencing is out is contingent on the restitution.
Probably a month out is the sentencing usually, right?
Are you agreeing?
Are we gonna have a restitution hearing or do you want to refer to probation for restitution?
There will be a restitution.
Okay, let's go ahead and just set it for restitution. then. Right, we'll print out the police report and then we'll do the no contest. plea.
Not Thank you, Mr. Winston.
Sutter, may I make inquiry of your clients?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, you understand that this is a misdemeanor and the potential exposure for this would be a 90-day misdemeanor and or $100. Do you understand that? And it's written, so you'd be pleading to the portion of the ticket, which is section 1, which is Article 9, Section 1's parent D. Article 9, Section 1 D. If your plea is accepted, you will not have, if your no contest plea is accepted, you will not have any trial of any kind, so you'd be giving up the following rights, and I'll cover those rights with you, all right, ma'am?
Okay.
Do you have the right to have witnesses called in your defense? You have the right to cross-examine all witnesses. You have the right to testify to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right that requires that the state of Michigan would prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt in this file. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
You're represented by Public Defender Lauren Sutter today, and she, of course, could contest any charges brought against you and cross-examine any witnesses. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
So you're waiving those rights in order to plead no contest in this case. Is that true?
Yes.
And you've heard the plea agreement, okay, dismissing all the files in one no contest plea to this file, and then we're going to set it for restitution hearing. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to take a no contest in this plea. And what I'm going to do is refer, the factual basis will be based. Go ahead, Mr. Westin.
Just to clarify that there would be a delay of sentence as well.
Correct. So how long? So we'd have to do the restitution fairly quickly, right?
Yes, the people would be, I think it makes the most sense to set that date after the restitution.
Okay, so we'll address that date on date of restitution. So once we figure out the restitution hearing. And I'm just gonna set that for hearing. We don't have to refer that to probation, I wouldn't think. No, okay. So I'm gonna take the no contest plea, the factual basis, I'm gonna take from the police report. This is case number 22980000530. That's the Ingham County Animal Control Report. You want me to use this factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And I'm gonna find that, let me review this really quick. So the date of offense, to make sure, would be May 19th. 2022. All right, so we'll do the date of offense would be on the May 19, 2022 at 830 East Genesee Street in the city of Lansing. It appears that the owner was the defendant, Evelyn Chester, and the dog involved was Misty, a tan pit bull. And it appears on that date at that time in Ingham County, state of Michigan, that the dog got out and then bit a child.
Not a child.
Not a child.
A child let the dog out of the.
Okay, yeah. Bit an individual after being let out by accident.
Yes.
Okay, or that's what the report would indicate. Is there, and that's contrary to Article 9, Section 1, Parents D of the Animal Control Act. Anything in regards to the factual basis for the no contest plea, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor, I believe that covered it.
Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. So I find the factual basis for the no contest plea to be factual and accurate. We'll set this for restitution here
September 12th at 9:30.
on September 12th at 9:30. And then the delay in sentence will be after that. So it's set for restitution on September 12th at 9:30. Anything else for the record on this file? That's 22-01455. Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
And then in relation to the plea agreement, the other files which are associated with the ticket, the same ticket, which are 22-01454, 22-01456, and 22-01457 will be dismissed per the plea agreement. And I'll see everybody back on September 12th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll stick in there. All right. So we're on the record. Mr. Hintz, I'll call your case, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we're on the record in docket 21-03197. That's Davenport University versus Jasmine Sweatman. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. John Hintz here for the plaintiff, Davenport University.
All right, and this is the time set for a discovery hearing in the matter, or at least a discovery conference. And I don't see Jasmine Sweatman in the courtroom, and I don't see her in the Zoom courtroom. Mr. Hintz, how would you like to proceed today?
Thank you, Your Honor. John Hintz here is the attorney for the plaintiff. We were here back on July 18, Your Honor, when the defendant had been served with a subpoena signed by the court. And the defendant, Ms. Sweatman, did not appear at the discovery hearing, and we adjourned that matter to today's date. And again, Ms. Sweatman is not here, Your Honor. Normally, I would ask permission for this court to issue a bench warrant. Unfortunately, though, Your Honor, my client has not given me authority to do that. So for lack of a better term, I feel we're left in a little bit of an abeyance. If I wish to file something, again, the court has been very patient with us trying to get the defendant to come to court. But I don't have the authority to ask for a bench warrant. So we will proceed in other ways to try and collect this money judgment, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, I see that there was a fail to appear on July 18th and then again of August 15th, but without the authority to ask for a bench warrant, I think the court at this time is left with no option except to dismiss the case and then have you bring it back.
That would be fine, Your Honor. Feel free to dismiss the subpoena, and we'll try again at another time.
All right. So with that understanding, the case is dismissed with the understanding that Mr. Hintz will just leave it we'll leave it in your capable hands of your next steps forward. Okay.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you, Mr. Hintz. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you, Your Honor. Goodbye.
So, Mr. Perez, Argumedo, you are here for your 9 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
All right, just stand by. We've got a few cases before you, but you're in the right place, okay? Same with you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Record in docket 22-00596. That's People of the State of Michigan versus Kevin T. Spraker. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Jeffrey Rothstein on behalf of Kevin Spraker, who is standing to my right.
Sir, you are Kevin Spraker?
Sir.
All right. This is the time set for a final pretrial on the matter. Mr. Wisty, how will we proceed?
Your Honor, an offer has been made where the defendant would plead guilty as charged with the Killebrew agreement to be sentenced pursuant to the Holmes Youthful Training Act.
And that's your understanding, Mr. Rothstein?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. So may I inquire your client?
You can, Your Honor.
The potential exposure in this case would be, if a plea is accepted, to be a misdemeanor, to be 93 days and or $500. Do you understand that, Mr. Spraker?
Sure.
All right, and it's your understanding today that there's a plea agreement here, so you'd plead to the charge, or you'd be sentenced under what's usually known as the Holmes Youthful Trainee Status Act, and you can
Yes, sir.
explain that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you plead to this case, you'll be giving up the following rights, and I'll go over those rights with you. All right.
Yes, sir.
And you've already seen some of these rights. You've
Yes,
signed
sir.
an advice and rights plea.
Yes, sir.
All right, but for our purposes, I'll briefly go through. You'd have the right, if you pled today, you'd have the right to have witnesses called in your defense at trial. You have the right to cross-examine all witnesses. You have the right to testify, to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right to have the state of Michigan prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you're represented by Mr. Rothstein today, and he would be able to contest any charges and cross-examine any witnesses if you had a trial today. You're willing to give up those rights today?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you're pleading guilty because you are guilty.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll have Mr. Rothstein run you through the fact pattern, okay?
So, Mr. Spraker, Your Honor, about August 1st, 2021, we're in the city of Lansing, Indian County, state of Michigan. Yes, sir. And then you encounter a gentleman on the street. You had
Yes.
an argument with him. He was a stranger.
Yes, sir.
And you hit him.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't have permission to hit him.
No, sir.
And had another question, but the problem was, I think that is enough for the factual basis.
Any questions, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor, I believe that covers it.
All right, I think that factual basis is knowing, understandably, and voluntarily made. I'll accept your factual basis as indicated from your attorney. So I'm gonna refer this matter to probation, okay? And they're gonna do a pre-sentence report indicating some report on you and your history, so that I'll be better able to indicate. For the record, right now, it's a Killebrew to YTA, which it seems like you're a good candidate for, but they will let me know. And then if I chose a different route, you can always withdraw your plea under the Killebrew agreement. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm gonna sentence you, I'm gonna refer you to probation. Are you gonna do that today, sir? You should do that within 2 days, 48 hours.
We will be going down there.
All right. So going to probation today. And sentencing date,
9/26.
9/26 at 8:30. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Rothstein?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, I'll see you on September 26th at 8:30, all right? All right, thank you.
I believe I'm done.
in docket 22014443. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Carolyn G. Jackson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lawrence Sutter on behalf of Ms. Jackson.
And this is the time set for a final pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we'd like this set for a trial date sometime in mid-September. We had some discovery issues that we dealt with defense counsel, and we should be good to go by mid-September.
Ms. Sutter?
I would agree with that, Your Honor.
All right, but Ms. Jackson's not here right now.
Not that I can.
So
see right
for the
now.
record, let's explain what's going on with this, what's gone on this morning.
Yes, Your Honor. I stepped out into the hallway, called her name, and the person who I believe is the complaining witness advised me she just left. I believe were her exact words. I don't know if she went downstairs to the bathroom, given that there's none on this floor. I have checked out a couple of times and have not seen her come back. I don't know if there's an interaction with the complaining witness that caused her to leave, but I have not seen her return yet.
So, Ms. Wisty, did you want me to set this for jury trial date? Are you seeking a bench warrant in this matter?
Your Honor, I believe I did see the defendant in the hallway myself this morning.
Okay.
I would leave that in the court's discretion, either just set it for the trial date, or if we want to wait another half an hour, see if she shows back up.
Why don't we set this for now? Ms. Sutter, you're going to be with us this morning, you know.
Yes,
So let's
Your Honor.
just set this until the end of the day, and then we'll figure it out. I'm tempted, if she was here and left and she knows that the file, you know, I'd like, if this is just a poor judgment on her part and she can get back here, that's fine. So I think we could leave it till the end of the day and we'll readdress it. Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Your Honor.
Aaron said she needed to meet with her client, but I don't see. Person on the Moto G Power, can you identify yourself? Ma'am, on the cell phone, can you identify yourself?
She's connected, dog.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'll check out.
Oh, it's sir on the cell phone. Can you please identify yourself? I can't hear you, sir.
Your Honor, Attorney Bryant Levine, I believe that's my client, Raul Argumedo. I can text him if the court would like to tell him to unmute.
All right.
All right, thank you. Your Honor.
I just, yeah, but right now I can't hear him.
Completely understood, Your Honor. And I was just working on my audio, so I just got the audio fixed here on this as well.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Miss Robinson, I don't see Miss Compton right now. Do you see her?
Let me check.
Okay.
No, I will reach out and call her because I believe she was on earlier.
All right. Mr. Levine, you're here on Perez Argumedo.
That's correct, Your Honor. Yes, and I just
All right.
got off the phone with his mother, who's telling him right now to unmute from his device. Hopefully he did that by now.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, yeah, so let's go ahead and put that on the record. So we're on the record in docket 21-022663. People of the state of Michigan versus Raul Perez Argumedo. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Wisty?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Attorney Burnett Levine on behalf of Raul Perez Argumedo. We're both present via Zoom.
All right, sir, you are Raul Perez Argumedo?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Levine, just for our record, we don't have an appearance yet for you. So
Yeah.
if you want to email it to the court, that'd be fine, just to make sure the paperwork gets up to the file.
Absolutely, Your Honor. We'll be emailing one today.
All right. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, my note has that the defendant was being screened for the treatment court. I do not know the status of that. I would inquire to the defense attorney if he's interested in this sobriety court and where he is in the screening process.
Mr. Levine?
Absolutely, Your Honor. So my client is certainly interested in the sobriety court. He has a contemporaneous matter along with this one out of 55th District Court out in Mason. And so the agreement with the APA's office, which is the same one as here, not the same assigned APA, but the same APA's office, is that we're looking to get him in a sobriety court that's going to be able to address matters in both jurisdictions to the extent that that's an agreement that we can work on. But he is certainly interested and that's our understanding. We're just waiting to hear back if he would be eligible or accepted in either or both.
So is the status here, we're running on 73 days in the file. Should we set it for final pretrial?
Yeah, just about.
Yes, Your Honor, I guess I would just inquire. I'm not sure how the treatment court runs here, what needs to be done on whose part to make sure it's screened.
But I know it's a longer process for screening, but not generally this long.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is, do you know what assistant prosecutor are you working with in 55th?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. It's with Chris Martin. And my understanding is he got a hold of the APA here at 54A, and they were going to get back to us on if it's something that we can work out. They're okay with it in 55th. We're just waiting to get the thumbs up here as well.
Okay. I guess, has anything happened on his part? Has he done a substance abuse assessment? Has he talked to anybody or?
Not yet. That was supposed to be scheduled. I think that one of the remaining questions was to the extent that it's available in both jurisdictions, which one should he get? And at least the agreement in the interim was that he would get it done at 54, either at 55th. My understanding is 54A doesn't provide that. I think he'd have to do it at 54B. So what Chris and I were discussing and agreeing to was if 55th is already offering that and he has a matter at that jurisdiction, sobriety court there would subsume matters in both jurisdictions. So it's to answer your question, it would be the sobriety court at 55th.
So I guess I would leave it in the court's discretion.
Let's set it for final pretrial.
Indeed. Thank you.
And I'll indicate that D is seeking sobriety court status. So August 29th at 8:30. And I think we'd have some information there that so I'd ask Mr. Wisty to get in contact with Mr. Martin so we can figure out how this is going to work in regards to sobriety court. Anything else for the file, Mr. Wisty, in docket 21-02263?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Levine?
Not from here, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So Mr. Perez Argumedo, keep in contact with your attorney, Barnett Levine, and I'll see you back here on August 29th at 8:30. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sir, on the Moto Jeep cell phone, can you identify yourself? Yeah, I can't hear you, sir. Say your name again. I can't hear. Who's in the? So we're on the record in docket 22-01975. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Kenneth Jones. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Jones.
And sir, you are Kenneth Jones?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can hear you, Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. You can hear me all right, sir?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Whisky, how are we proceeding today?
We'd like this set for a final pretrial, Your Honor.
Set for final pretrial and jury trial. Yeah.
Final pretrial is 8:29 to 8:30. On the trial would be 9:12 at 8.
So 8:29 at 8:30. Jury trial would be when?
9:12 at 8.
9:12. Is that your understanding, Ms. Robinson? We're going to set this for final pretrial and jury trial?
Yes, sir.
All right. Final pretrial will be set for August 29th at 8:30. And the jury trial will be set for September 12th at 8. Mr. Jones, please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Robinson. You have a final pretrial August 29th at 8:30 and a jury trial on September 12th at 8, okay?
Okay.
All right. Anything else for the record? Docket 22-01975. Mr. Whisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for the record in this file. Sir, Mr. Gonzalez, are you there?
Yes, John.
All right, perfect. We're going to call your case then. We'll call docket 22-01921. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Rodney Gonzalez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Gonzalez, who is present via Zoom.
And sir, you are Rodney Gonzalez?
Rodney Gonzalez, sir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Whisky, how we proceed?
Your Honor, there had been some discussions about a plea agreement. I believe the defense is going to ask for a final pretrial. I would defer to them.
Is that your understanding, Ms. Sutter?
That's correct, Your Honor. No offers been made at this time, so we will be asking for the final pretrial.
All right. We'll set it for final pretrial and jury trial. We'll get both those dates.
August 29th at 8:30 and September 12th at 8, please.
29th at 8:30. You have to give me the second one again.
9:12 at 8.
9:12 at 8. All right, so we're setting it for final pretrial on August 29th at 8:30, and the jury trial will be set for September 12th at 8.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Gonzalez, right now we're setting it for final pretrial at 8:30 and setting it for jury trial on September 12th at 8. Please stay in contact with your attorney, Ms. Sutter, if you have any questions, all right?
Yes, Your Honor. And I am under the impression on August 29th, I am to appear in person.
Yes, yep. So, so August 29th, that final pretrial will be live, all right?
And what time was that, sir?
At 8:30.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
That's all for the record, docket 2201-921. Sir, on the cell phone, could you identify yourself? I'm sorry, sir. I still can't hear you for some reason. I don't- Yeah, see, if you can, send a chat to us so we know who you are. So I make sure I get your appearance here. I don't think you can on his phone. I don't know. You can?
Excuse me, Your Honor. Excuse me. Excuse me, Your Honor. It, USD. Excuse me, Your Honor. I was just asking, was we done or? I don't know.
All right, we're having a hearing right now, so stand by. Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to stand by until they take you off the iPad. All right,
Okay.
sir?
Okay.
All right. Sir, back on the record in this file, you understand that if you plead guilty today, you'll be giving up certain rights.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, the maximum penalty, there's a plea agreement here. The maximum penalty is 93 days and or $500. That's the most exposure you could have. And there's a plea agreement that you're going to plead as charged today with a killabrew of no further jail. Do you understand that? Sir. All right. if you're guilt, and I have you, these rights you've already gone over, I have an advice of rights for the file. I'll just go over a few of the rights with you in person, all right?
Okay.
If you plead guilty today, you won't have a trial of any kind. You have the right to have any witnesses called in your defense, the right to cross-examine all witnesses, the right to testify to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right that the people of the state of Michigan prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand those rights, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're represented by Attorney David Carter today. He would, of course, be available to cross-examine all witnesses or contest any of these charges. If you understand, you're giving up your rights to trial in this because you're pleading guilty. You won't have those rights.
Yes.
All right. There's a plea agreement of Kilbrew, no jail. You're pleading guilty today because you are guilty. All right. I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring your attention, sir, back to January 25th, 2022, the offense location of 1215 East Michigan, City of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you there on that date at that time?
Yes.
And did you have an encounter with Heidi Lentz?
I guess so, Your Honor. I fell down, hit my head after drinking in excess, and I have no recollection except waking up in Sparrow and restraints.
Okay. Did you want to do a no contest plea based on, I don't know if he can, will he indicate, does he remember hitting anyone?
Do you remember hitting anyone?
No, sir.
Do you want?
People would have no objection.
Yeah, I think under the facts. it's
Yeah.
appropriate.
All right, so I'm gonna take a look at, and I don't have, all I have is.
May I approach your honor?
Yeah, you have a police report?
I'll show this to the prosecutor. I'm gonna hand you page 3 of the police department. I think that would satisfy the no contest
All right.
plea. You've already taken venue down, so.
All right, I'm gonna have that marked. Sir, Mr. Brown, I'm gonna have you stop moving because we can hear you in the courtroom.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know.
So we'll take this as a factual basis. This is a report, as long as both parties are aware of case number 22519000724. Mr. Wisty, this is what I'll be using as a factual basis.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
All right. And I do have the 1215 as the City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan on January 25th, 22 for location, venue, and it appears for identification. I have that the defendant did punch a nurse at the location while being restrained. And that looks like it would suffice as an offensive touching of another. Anything in regards to the no contest plea, Mr. Wisty?
Just for clarification, that was a doctor, not a nurse. That was
Correct. That's a Dr. Lentz. Correct. Right.
Nothing further. Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Carter?
No, and I would agree with that.
All right. So I find the no contest, the factual basis for the no contest to be appropriate. Probably send this to probation, although there's a Killebrew agreement. I'm going to send this to refer to probation. And you'll be able to do that today, Mr. Carter?
Yeah, I'll walk them
All
down
right.
right after the hearing here.
And what they'll do is they'll set it for, they'll do a report for me so that sentencing, we can make a determination our best options, okay? Sentencing date?
9/26.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Number 26 at 9 a.m.
All right, Mr. Grove, you're gonna refer to your probation, and Mr. Carter said he'd walk you down there now. Make sure and answer any questions they're gonna do, that they have. They're gonna do a report for me, and on September 26th at 9 a.m., we'll go through the sentencing together, all right?
Great.
Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Carter?
No.
All right, so keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Carter, if you have any questions. We'll see you on the 26th, all right?
Okay, thank
Thank-
you.
So we'll go on the record in docket 21-03378. That's people, the state of Michigan versus LaShawn Brown. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Brown.
Sir, you are LaShawn Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you can hear me all right, Mr. Brown?
Yes, I can.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, no offer has been made yet. The people are, it's a child abuse case. We're waiting on some documentation from CPS before we make an offer. Request to be set for a final pretrial.
Okay, Ms. Robinson, is that your understanding?
Your Honor, I would request an actual additional pretrial date about 30 days out, as I believe there's some other witnesses that we need to investigate at this time. So I would request that before a final pretrial date.
Where are we at? This is the first request for. Yeah, second pretrial.
8/29.
So we'll do a second pretrial, 8/29.
Judge, can we get 30 days out? That's about 2 weeks.
Let's do,
We don't have moves, things.
yeah, we've got a vacation. We have a vacation date in there. That's a problem. Let's do after September 1st. 9/12. Okay. So let's do some 9/12 at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
And this is for discovery in a child abuse case, so. No, let's just do the second pretrial. No offer. So September 12th at 9 a.m. for discovery. Anything else for the record in docket 21-03378, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Brown, we've set this for a second pretrial on September 12th at 9 a.m. for discovery purposes. So you'll have more information.
Yes.
If you have any questions, keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Robinson, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's all for the record in docket 21-03378. So we're on the record.
I'm gonna just run out in the hall real quick
Okay.
just to make sure he's not here.
So I'm calling the record docket 22-01947. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Miguel Julian. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Julian.
And sir, you are Miguel Julian? All right. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for pre-trial in the matter. How we proceed?
Your Honor, an offer has been extended. I suspect the defense is going to request a final pretrial, but I would defer to them.
All right.
That's
Ms.
correct,
Robinson?
Your Honor. We would request a final pretrial and jury trial date.
Okay, so we'll set for final pre-trial and jury trial. All right. So August 29th at 8:30 for the final pre-trial
And September 12th at 8 a.m. for the trial.
and September 12th at 8 for the jury trial. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson, anything else for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Julian, we've set it for August 29th at 8:30 for your final pretrial and September 12th at 8 a.m. for your jury trial. If you have any questions, please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Robinson, okay? All right, that's all for the record, docket 22-01947.
Just give me a second. I'll put you on this is for the answer next book. Oh, yeah, this is just. Yeah.
Zero 0519. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Brian Miller. Time set for sentencing today. Ms. Robinson, you're here with Mr. Miller?
I am.
All right, and you are Brian Keith Miller?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Ms. Robinson, you've had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Miller about the pre-sentence report that was developed?
I have, Your Honor.
All right. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to
Not
the
to the
report?
factual basis, Your Honor.
Do you want to be heard on allocution?
Yes, Your Honor. So I understand from the pre-sentence investigation that it is recommending 10 months of probation with moral recognition therapy. However, this case is a presumed fines and cost case with the reckless driving. So I would ask that Mr. Miller receive fines and costs. He was previously on probation in 30th Circuit, completed that, and has since been discharged from that. Further, he is working and he's doing everything that he needs to be doing and is taking care of some other loose ends at other courts. So that's what I would request. I would also request that if probation's ordered, that the requirement of random testing be removed, as this case has nothing to do with any sort of alcohol or drug allegations. And I don't believe a substance abuse assessment was even done for Mr. Miller at this time.
Mr. Miller, anything on your behalf that your attorney has spoke on your behalf? Did you want the court to hear anything on your behalf before the court passed the sentence?
Sir, but then I'm just trying to get this over with, get this behind me, move forward with my life, progress forward.
I see the reason for the request. So by the way, I indicate for the record, this is a reckless driving ticket now, but this started off, if I remember correctly, as a flee and elude. A 5-year flee and elude is what it started out as. I don't have any problems with the pre-sentence report in this matter. I certainly understand that it's not a traditional reckless driving, so to speak. I do understand, though, that I do think counsel makes a good argument that the submission of PBTs in your analysis is somewhat not needed in this case. So in regards to the guilty plea to the reckless driving, we'll set fines at $100 and costs at $100. The crime victim's rights fee is $75. State minimum cost is $50. So, and then the probation is for 10 months probation, no additional jail time. So spend 93 days in jail beginning August 15th. Credit is given for 1 day previously served. And then I'll suspend the remaining 92 days on this 92-day misdemeanor. But I am putting you on probation for 10 months with a $30 per month probation oversight fee. As part of this, then no assaultive behavior, no use of possession of alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substance. I'm not going to have you, so I'm going to delete, submit to random PBTs. You will be under order not to attend any bars or nightclubs. You're to obtain, maintain employment, but not to purchase or possess any firearms. So I did strike the JOS for submission to random PBTs.
And your analysis. Oh,
What's that?
the PBTs and your analysis.
And your analysis,
Thank
both.
you.
Yeah,
Just
they're
so the
both.
record's clear.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't see a reason for that. Not based on the crime that was committed. So the worst part of this for you is 10 months probation, as you know. Okay, that's the worst part of this. And I know you want to get this behind you. Just do what your probation tells you to do, and you and I won't have to spend any time together. Neither one of us want that, right? Yes. Right. I mean, that works better for both of us. All right. So let's do the 10 months. Let's get this behind you, and then you can move on. All right.
Yes,
Anything else for the record, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Miller. Okay.
I got no paper.
Okay. You might just want to stop down for a second. So. So that you just replace your permission.
You, Mr. Franquez.
Sure. Yeah. As you put the, for JOS. They yell at me on that.
I know.
I know, I don't know. I
That's
don't
why I
know.
thought I should probably read it.
Yeah. All right, we're on the record in 22 L2712612. People in the state of Michigan versus Franquez DeMonte Scott. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Frank West Scott on behalf of myself.
Okay. And Mr. Scott, this is the time set, Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a formal hearing on the matter. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, the people are willing to make Mr. Franquez, Mr. Scott an offer where the ticket as charged would be dismissed in exchange for admitting responsibility to a civil infraction in violation of MCL 28.425F, and that would be concealed carry failure to display the license.
So it's a failure to display the CPL license. Is that correct?
Failure to have the license in his possession.
Okay. And what is the fine for that?
$100.
And then is that forfeiture of the CPL of the permit, or is that between
A 6-month suspension.
6 months suspension? Okay. Is that your understanding, Mr. Scott, that you would be admitting responsibility to the civil infraction under MCL 28.425 that's failed to display the CPL license you have in your possession? It's a $100 fine and a 6-month suspension.
Yes, sir.
All right. And with that, the ticket, which is 22519026855, the remaining file would be dismissed. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions about admitting responsibility to civil infraction. All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to March 27th of 2022 at or upon Southland near South Washington in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. Do you remember being there present on that date?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, were you not in possession of your CPL license?
Correct.
All right. And you know that's in violation of the CPL license law.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything as to the admission of responsibility to the civil infraction?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then I will fine you $100, and then you will have a 6-month suspension on that CPL. And then it's going to be weird not seeing you all the time because you've been here a couple of times.
I know.
But you're always timely and you're always here. And I'll give you when my staff's wondering about where you are, that's probably a good thing, right?
Yes,
it is, because you always show up. So this has been I find the admission to civil responsibility. I've indicated the fine and the 6-month suspension. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Scott, good luck to you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, take care.
Nice seeing you.
Nice to see you too, sir. 2-01778. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Joan Dolby. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Ms. Dolby.
And ma'am, you are Joan Dolby?
Yes, Joan Marie Dolby, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, an offer has been made where the civil infractions would be dismissed in exchange for a plea to failure to report an accident in violation of MCL 257.622, and would request this be set for a restitution hearing. I do not know if the defendant is going to accept that today or not.
All right, Ms. Robinson, how are we proceeding today?
Yes, Your Honor. We are going to reject the offer at this time, and we would ask for an additional pretrial date, probably 30 days out. Looks like there's some possible other reports pending from the police officers at this time, as well as some independent investigation that needs to occur.
Well, so my only concern is the length of the time now, because we have, this is the date of a second pretrial.
Correct. Your Honor, it was only continued from the week before to this week because we didn't have discovery previously. So
Okay.
that was the only reason for the continuance.
Can I say something, Your
Not
Honor?
right now.
Nope, I guess I'm not supposed to. I'll let my lawyer do the talking.
yeah.
Okay. I'm learning that when to listen and be quiet.
So at this time, I'm gonna set it for final pretrial, but we'll move it out so that there's time for discovery purposes. So we'll set for final pretrial and jury trial. But let's give it some time for discovery purposes. So final pretrial,
9/12 at 8:30,
yeah, that'll work. 9/12
and the jury trial will follow on 9/26.
and 9/26, you said, at 8?
Mhm.
I think that probably would give sufficient time for any discovery issues.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Yeah. So we're gonna set it for final pretrial at 8:30 on September 12th and at September 26th at 8 for jury trial. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
Nothing further.
Ms. Dolby, please keep in contact with Ms. Robinson, your lawyer, all
I
right?
will. I wasn't even aware of some of the
That's all right.
information until today. I'm freaking out.
All right, you're fine. Just keep in contact with Ms. Robinson. Your
right.
final pretrial date is September 12th live, and then we'll set it for jury on September 26th. All right, ma'am?
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
Right.
Ms. Eastbrook?
I've given her a call. I got her voicemail.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and put her on the record.
Oh darn.
Yeah. She's an hour out. We can, yeah, so let's. Those are unlicensed dogs, right?
Correct.
All right. So she'll get I don't think she's been FTA a few times.
In this program?
Mhm. I have her FTA on May 16th and FTA on June 27th.
These are I apologize. I must be missing some information. This is the first court appearance I have in our file for her.
On Miss Easterbrook?
Yes.
Did you miss your arraignment date?
76 days to start with Judge Alderson.
Yeah, Judge, this predates both you and I.
Well, I was still around in the Alderson days. I think it's just me and Nathaniel.
Hey, I've been here the whole time.
That's true, yeah.
Right.
It wasn't you in here in the court all the time with her.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got.
so let's go on the record in docket 22-00893 and 22-00897. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Lisa R. Easterbrook. Will the parties please identify themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Miss Easterbrook.
And this was set for 9:30. It's now 10:30. I don't see Miss Easterbrook in the Zoom courtroom, and she's not in the normal, in the actual courtroom. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, I believe a bench warrant with the 48 hours notice is appropriate. That was showing several prior to this court dates and bench warrants issued in this matter.
Any comments, Miss Sutter?
Just ask that the 48-hour hold be put into effect with that bench warrant, Your Honor.
I don't have a problem with the 48-hour hold on unlicensed dog tickets, so.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna put a 48-hour hold on the bench warrant. And so if she appears within 48 hours, the bench warrant will not go into effect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else for the record on either one of these files, 22-00893 or 897? Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's all that's all on the record in those files.
Thank you.
People of the State of Michigan versus Lisa R. Eastbrook. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Easterbrook, who is standing to my left.
And ma'am, you are Lisa R. Easterbrook?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution where Ms. Easterbrook will plead guilty in file 22-00893. In exchange for that plea, the people will dismiss file 22-00897. And the people would also agree to sentencing for the bench today, Your Honor.
And Ms. Sutter, is that your understanding of the resolution?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. So my understanding is docket 22-00897 is to be dismissed pursuant to the plea agreement, and the Ms. Easterbrook will be pleading to 22-00893 with an agreement that this goes to immediate sentencing.
Yes.
Correct, Your Honor.
May I inquire of your client of this file, Ms. Sutter?
Yes.
All right. And this is 90 and or 100
That's correct.
on
Your
the
Honor.
ticket? I just want to make sure.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
We got coordinates up right now. 90 and or 500.
Okay. All right, Ms. Easterbrook, you understand that the maximum penalty for this misdemeanor, the maximum exposure could be 90 days and or $500. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. You're willing to plead guilty today. If you do that, you're gonna waive some rights. All right. And I'll walk you through those rights today. All right.
Okay.
All right. If you plead guilty today, you'll be waiving the following rights: the right to have witnesses called in your defense at trial, the right to cross-examine all witnesses, the right to testify to remain silent without an inference being drawn from that silence, the right to the presumption of innocence, and the right to have the people prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand those rights, ma'am?
Yeah.
All right. And you are represented by Ms. Sutter, and she, of course, could contest any charges and cross-examine any witnesses brought against you in a trial. Do you understand that?
My job to question any witnesses. You understand
Do you
that?
understand that, ma'am? Okay. And you're willing to waive those rights today and plead guilty?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, I'm going to bring your attention back to March 30th of 2022 at the offense location of 1139 Hateman in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan. Were you there on that date at that time?
Yeah.
All right. And in this file, we're dealing with, is it the first or the second animal?
The first animal.
Okay. So we're dealing with, is it Miley? Miley?
Yeah.
Okay. And was Miley not licensed on that day?
No.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to find that that's in violation of Article 4, Section 1 of the Animal Control Act. Anything in regards to the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything in regards to, I know I'm going to immediate sentencing. Anything in regards to immediate sentencing?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor, I would just ask to keep all fines and costs to a minimum. Ms. Easterbrook is financially struggling, and this would be quite a struggle for her. She's also additionally, just so the court is aware, she's also had both of those dogs put down. I don't know if it's because they were sick or the financial struggle with them, but she no longer possesses either of
All
the
right.
dogs.
So you don't have either dog at this time?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna set fines and costs, everything at $100. Do you need some time to pay that, ma'am?
Yeah. I mean,
$100 for everything. Do you need some time to pay that, ma'am?
Time, yeah.
About 30 days. Would 30
Yeah.
days suffice? Okay, so the fine cost, crime victims' rights fee, state fee, everything all together is gonna be $100, okay?
Oh,
And I'll give you 30 days to pay that, all right, ma'am? You can pay on this form, the city of Lansing, okay? You can pay online, or you can phone, you can call it in, okay? All right. Anything else for this file, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
Just to clarify,
Yeah.
everything all totaled up is 100.
Everything all totaled up is 100.
Thank you,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So, yeah, there's some fines and costs I can't waive, but everything all together is gonna be $100. All
Thank
right.
you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Easterbrook. I'm sorry about your dogs, okay? All right, thank you.
thank you.
2201-443. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Carolyn Jackson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Jackson.
And this is the time set. It's 8:30. It was set for 8:30. It's now at 10:50. This is the time set for a final pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the people would request a bench warrant. My witness, victim witness who was here did report to see the defendant here this morning. According to her, the defendant then left and she doesn't know where she is at this time. So
Right.
just so the court's aware, she made an appearance, but I believe the bench warrant still.
That's my understanding. And we spoke about this when the case was previously called. Ms. Sutter indicated that Ms. Jackson was here for a brief time and then left and didn't give any reporting information that she was coming, of where she was going. So we set it to do at the end of the day. Ms. Robinson, any additional information or in regards to this case?
Not at this time, Your Honor, but I would just ask that you hold on to the file until the end of business today, just so that Ms. Sutter can have a chance to reach out and see what's been going on. I know that in the past, she's had good contact with Ms. Jackson. So.
My only inclination is I can't because it's an assault and battery, so that the underlying, so I can't, but if Ms. Sutter contacts and is able to contact the office, that we'll put it on as soon as we can.
Okay, thank you.
So DF, summing up, the defendant failed to appear, the bench warrant is issued. No 48 because of the nature of the case. And then I'll let Ms. Sutter know, and you can too, that if she's able to get her client in, we can set it as soon as we can.
Sure.
So that's all record in that file, 22-01443.
You got that correct?
I think so. All I have is, are you Mr. Lear? All right. For a probation violation in this matter. So the parties introduce themselves for the record, Mr. Wisty.
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
And you are Santana Lira, sir? All right. And Mr. Lira, you're not represented by counsel today, correct?
No, they told me to ask for an adjournment so I can get the application approved.
All right. I think it's important that you're represented today, especially because it's set for hearing. So we are going to set it. We're going to set it out for an additional probation violation hearing date. But you need to prioritize this and make this the very top because we're not going to reset it again. All right. It's already, let's see. We've already adjourned this twice. Once was for technology problems, but the other one was in order for you to seek counsel. And I know you tried to do that Friday, but try to do it right now, right away. Because the sooner they get on board, the sooner we can figure all this out. All right.
Yes, sir.
Give me a date.
August 29th of 11.
Okay. So we've reset for pretrial on August 27th?
29th.
29th. August 29th. What time?
11 a.m.
At 11. It appears that you have the number, you contacted them. So reset it on that date. That's a big date because you can tell them that that's the date they need to be here. And then in the meantime, that's the hearing date. All right.
Okay.
So reset. All right, anything else for the record in file 220099000292, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so we will see you again on August 29th, and hopefully that public defender thing will work out and you'll able to get the lawyer here, and then we'll see if there's any way we can resolve it or go to hearing. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Lira.
Thank you.
Thank you.